Man United 1, Brentford 0. Big relief. Big relief. I didn't care how we won today. We just had to make sure that we did. And it was as predicted, tight, cagey game. I knew we wouldn't smash Brentford. We wouldn't be goals galore. But we got asked questions more so in the second half. I think actually in the first half, I thought we was quite good. Actually, I thought we was on the ball. I have kind of criticised Bruno playing deep. I don't really like it, but I thought he was actually really good, and especially in the first 25 minutes, first half an hour. I thought Sancho was getting on the ball nice, linking up with Luke Shaw. That was good. Anthony was getting onto the ball as well. De Gea was distributing the ball well. Martinez was quick and crisp on the ball. Varane, those two were really good. Dalot. I just thought we were the system was working and the tempo was there. But I will say the reason why I thought that was the case was because I think Brentford, they didn't really put us under much pressure in that first half. I haven't heard what Thomas Frank had to say after the game, etc., or whether that was a clear tactic for them to sit off us. But, they had the five at the back, but in midfield, Bruno had time and space to come, at his own leisure, at his own pace, get on the turn, pick some nice passes out, some little 1-2s, get close to players, play some long passes as well. Sancho had the same luxury. Scott McTominay had the same luxury as well. I'm not saying Scott McTominay was out of this world, but again, I think the deficiencies in that midfield that we saw that Bruno, Sabitzer and McTominay had in a game like Newcastle, where they had the likes of Willock on them, they had Bruno Guimaraes on them, they had Longstaff on them, and they were getting rushed all over the pitch. It was completely different to today, where Brentford's midfield just let us have it, and then the two up top, in Mbeumo and Ivan Toney, they weren't really pressing. They were happy to let us have it, and they wanted to be resolute. Maybe it was a tactic for them, because actually in the second half we lost a little bit of that clear-cut control, and when they started to, play a little bit more forcefully, Brentford, it wasn't as easy for us as it was in the first half. And I think that's when we had to defend really, really well, make sure that we didn't concede any big chances. The goal I thought was really good, actually. Clipped ball in from Anthony, good cushion header from Sabitzer. And I actually want to talk about Sabitzer a little bit, because I thought he had a good game. I thought he was quite good today. Again, he hasn't hit that spark yet. We haven't seen the best of Sabitzer yet, and I think it'll be unfair to expect that from him when he's had a couple of injuries. He's coming into a makeshift midfield where it's kind of firefighting situations, playing with different partners almost every time he plays, apart from that's 2 starts with Scott McTominay on the bounce now. But I thought today he gave a decent account of himself, got on the ball quite well, was decent in a tackle, tried to lay on a couple of chances and got himself an assist. Good cushion header down for Rashi as well. And I thought Rashford was lively, again, more so in the first half than the second. And he was getting on the ball, making good runs, and I liked what I saw. My biggest bugbear for today, though, I'm gonna have to be honest, this goal kick situation. Now, look, I'm not just doing this to, defend David De Gea, and I don't want to make it about should David De Gea should go or should I leave. I'm talking about actually collectively the goal kick situation, because I think we're looking really uncertain at the goal kicks, and I'm not just putting it down to David De Gea, because to me, Martinez puts the ball down and literally just taps it to De Gea, right? And you get Ivan Toney basically, waiting on the white line on the edge of the box, almost like a ready, set, go, on your marks, get set, go position. And as soon as Martinez just taps it to him, and then De Gea just kicks it long anyway, and it's just giving us problems because, all right, fair enough, I understand De Gea's distribution is clearly not where we want it to be. I understand that. There's keepers that are better at distribution than he is. But we're kind of setting him up to fail by playing in that way. And I don't even think it's just his fault. I saw David Raya kick a couple out into touch as well. And actually, like Cam said, in the first half an hour, 35 minutes, David De Gea's distribution was really, really good when the team was functioning better. And I just think that, I don't know, I think in general, we're just allowing opponents to just get onto us. And I don't know why we're doing that. When it's like that, I'm saying, look, you know what? Just kick it up long. And play off the second ball. Why can't we do that? Why can't we just play off the second ball? That became a little bit of an issue where obviously they're starting to smell blood. But it isn't, I don't think it's just De Gea's fault. I think that is a team thing where it's like, what's the point in giving it 5 yards to De Gea to say kick it straight anyway? If you're going to do that, tell Varane, Martinez and the whole back four to get up, push up, and then kick it long, and then we'll play off the second. And then I looked at how Brentford take their goal kicks, and everyone's waxing lyrical about David Raya, and he is good. But then what they're doing is they're putting their 2 centre-backs, even though they had 5 at the back, they're putting their centre-backs wide, the width of the 18. So then if you're Mbeumo and if you're Toney, or if you're our forwards, it's difficult to split that. But when you're really narrow, like how Varane is and how Martinez is in that side, and then you're just passing it, it just invites the pressure, and they're playing 2 up tops. So I think that killed us a little bit personally. I think we have to look at that. Earlier on in the season when it wasn't working, we just went long. But the last few games, especially after the Newcastle one, we're starting to get a little bit shaky in that area. So that's my biggest bugbear. Second half, I think I was surprised to not see Martial come on earlier. I think Ten Hag's really trying to be patient with him. He's really trying to make sure he's fit before he does, starts getting him into games. So I think that's a plus though that he is coming through games and again when he came on, a lot of the crowd were rushing Martial to say, why are you not pressing? Why are you not doing this? At the end of the day, he's not there to do that. He's there to take this thing out of the game. He's there to link the play, and he's there to combine with other players. And actually, when we're 1-0 up, I think we had Bruno running one beyond him. You've got Rashford who's going to do more running as well. It wasn't the worst. And actually got on the ball quite a bit and started to make some things happen as well. So he can get fit and be a big positive for us, going through. Martinez and Varane, though, I think, this was the sort of game where it could have gone really wrong. It could have gone really wrong really easily. And we had to be resolute. How are we going to deal with the balls in the box from Brentford? How are we going to deal with some of the physicality that they're going to show? And the answer is very well. Considering McTominay was the main player of height along with Varane. Varane was at the end of everything. I thought Martinez played really well as well. Just between them, his pass is really crisp, really sharp, out to Luke Shaw, out to through the lines into midfield as well. He was doing really well at that. So those two, the partnership was back to not its best today, but that's more like what we want to see. And I did think it did help though. At Brentford, I was surprised at Brentford. I think as the game wore on, I think Thomas Frank thought, right, I can change it a bit now and go for it. I think it took its toll on them against Brighton. That wasn't the best side of Brentford, but I think we still had to control the game like we did, which I was really pleased with in the first half. We just couldn't raise the level for the second half, and then there were a few nervy moments where we were just making a few silly decisions on the ball, wasn't quite using the ball well enough. But the main thing is that we defended well. Luke Shaw, I thought it was really disappointing to see him go off. Actually, because he was actually really good in that first 35 minutes before he came off. I haven't seen anything after the game. I hope he's not injured long term. I hope that's more of a precautionary because, for the big games that we've got coming up, we don't want to lose him. When Malacia came in, obviously a little bit shaky, but obviously wasn't expecting to come in, but felt his way into the game. And he done well as well. Look, I think midfield, again, it's going to be a different game here against Everton. I don't think Everton will sit off us as much as that. They will let us have the ball, but I think, if you look at Onana, if you look at Decore in midfield as well, they're more physical. They will try and get amongst us, and I think it's going to be interesting to see if he goes with McTominay again or brings back in Fred. Sabitza's actually building up a little bit of a few games now. I know it wasn't great against Newcastle, but again, I liked what he did for a lot of time today. So hopefully he gets another game in his legs against Everton. There's still going to be no Casemiro. Obviously, Eriksen probably still be too soon for him. We'll see about that. But there's going to be more difficult games to come. It's just about getting the points on the board, and it's such a big relief that we won today. I said it would be tight. I thought it would be tight. I was nervous before the game. I was nervous at parts during the game. Apart from the first half, I was quite comfortable. But it's just about points on the board. I think Newcastle smashed West Ham. So, we know we're in that fight for top four, that top four dog race. Still joint third, if you want to call it that. And roll on Everton. It's going to be a really, really tough game. Sean Dyche's going to have them guys really well drilled, off the back of a spirited performance against Spurs. And that away from home, it's not their best. And at home, it is our best. But we have to be on it. I predict another tight one. My man of the match before I go, Varane, Martinez. I'm going to go Martinez. Yeah, I'll keep it unanimous. I'm going to go Lisandro Martinez. I don't think everyone else was great today. Another goal for Rashi, which is good. Anthony was good, but again, tries the same shot over and over again, but his ball retention is good and his work rate is good. Jadon Sancho did well when the team was dominating pressure, dominating the ball, dominating possession. I liked that. But again, as the game kicked on, he couldn't really get involved. So I'm going to go safe bet, Martinez. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, I'm out of here. Peace.